Welcome to Financial Health, a 5-minute conversation with Jason Weier of Weier Wealth Management, focusing on your current and future financial goals. This is Financial Health on WOMT.
Welcome to Financial Health. It wouldn't be Monday without my good friend Jason Weier of Weier Wealth Management. Jason, you're sitting down again. How are you?
I'm amazing because I'm relaxed now.
Yeah, you know what? Sitting down does give you a kind of homey feel, doesn't it?
I should do this more often, maybe. I don't sit and relax every now and then.
Stop and smell the microphone. Don't smell the microphone. Don't smell the microphone. Hey, Jason, last week we had an amazing conversation about the spectrum of solutions. And for those who did not listen, obviously we're going to revisit that right now. But you could also go to seeheyforpodcast.com. That's our new podcasting platform. And you can research all of our old episodes as well. So, Jason, let's revisit the spectrum of solutions. So you're a fiduciary. Client comes to you with a goal, and what is the spectrum of solutions?
Yes, let's dive into that. So with us being local, we're independent. We're not tied to any one company or one firm. So we have the spectrum of options available with any variation of investment firms that fit those spectrums. Awesome. So the left side, we talked about this last week, is fixed income. So fixed investments, maybe a little bit more boring, maybe more focused on producing stability. The right side, maybe where the fun happens, the variable side. So higher returns potentially, higher risk most likely, and then potentially greater returns and losses.
Exactly.
But there's pros and cons to each of these.
And I wanted to ask you about the pros and cons because after last week's show, I was thinking like, I need to be more boring. Well, I want to, I'm really attracted to boring now, Jason. You know, maybe as I'm getting older.
Yeah,
you know,
it happens.
I like the idea of, okay, I have my fixed income. I have my savings. I have, my real estate, everything like that. And that stuff I know is going to just stay there. And I feel comfortable in that.
Predictable.
Yes, but at the same time, it's not going to be very beneficial in the long run necessarily for me if I want to cha-ching, make some big money, correct?
The one of the downfalls might be the potential for greater returns. You're kind of capped on the left side of what you can earn. So if you look at that left side of fixed income or fixed investments, typically at this point in time where we are in the market, maybe you're getting 5%, 5.5%, but you're probably going to cap out at 5.8, maybe 6% in general, as a rough idea. So if you need to or want to make more than that, then we do have to kind of creep over to that right side and get some variable investment returns too.
Certainly. Now, are there any other cons to the left side?
Cons to the left side, I guess, would again kind of mute your returns in the future, limited growth potential, those kinds of things. The other con that's related to that is that you'd have to save more to live your lifestyle, because if you're earning less return, you need more of a base to accomplish your goals then. So you have to save more versus if you're willing to take a little bit more risk on that right side, in general, maybe you can save a little bit less because the return will close that gap for you.
Definitely. Okay, so I can definitely see why with some of those you, again, would be creeping more into the right there. So, Jason, let's head over to that right side, the variables. So, Jason, obviously, the pros with this one are kind of obvious. So it all depends on your risk, but volatility, if you have a high risk tolerance and you do take that risk and it works out for you, hey, good on you.
Yeah. Long term, we can illustrate that to you that long term, the stock market does have positive returns. You have to endure, though, the negative returns to get to the positive.
And we've talked about that in past episodes. If you look at it year to year, it's quite interesting, those figures. So again, go and check out past episodes, seeheyforpodcast.com. We did an entire show on that.
Numbers and analysis and everything.
Yep.
But that's a good part, is that you have greater growth potential. Potentially, you can also allocate into some other types of investments. So larger companies, smaller companies, and be a little more sophisticated on how you construct your portfolio. Then come the negatives or maybe cons.
Yep.
Typically, the losses we just talked about, But the other part, though, is that they become a little bit more complex. You have to understand or try to understand that these are not black and white type solutions like usually the left is.
Yeah, exactly.
They're more a little bit simplistic on the left side. Complexity comes in on the right side.
And do you think that is maybe, I may be speculating here, but do you think that's the reason why many people don't dip their toes into the right side of the spectrum?
It could be. Maybe they got burned a couple of times, either knowingly or unknowingly, or like you said, it gets very complicated, very complex, extremely fast. Ian, I've been doing this for 17 years, and in the 17 years I've been doing this, it's changed dramatically. So, and I'm in the industry, so I can't imagine being a consumer and trying to understand all this terminology.
See, now do you understand why I opened this episode with me talking about how I'm so infatuated with the left side? Obviously, because it's easy to understand.
A little bit more simple, yeah.
Jason, if anybody has any questions, maybe about the complexities of that right side of the spectrum or the spectrum of solutions or just finances in general, Jason, what's a good way to reach out to you in Weier Wealth Management?
Sure. The website has awesome resources. Website is Weier, Weier, WeierWealthManagement.com. Facebook, LinkedIn, and then also phone number is 920-242-9470, 920-242-9470.
Awesome. Jason, I'll talk to you next week. It's WOMT.
Securities offered through Advantax Investment Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Advantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through Advantax Insurance Agency. Views and opinions presented in this podcast are those of Jason Weier and not of Advantax Wealth Management or subsidiaries. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only, not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Performance reference is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. This is a hypothetical example. This is not representative of any specific investment advice. Your results may vary.
Financial Health is heard every Monday at approximately 11:20 with Jason Weier of Weier Wealth Management. Learn more online at WeierWealthManagement.com. You're listening to WOMT Radio, a Seahafer broadcasting station.